Because if I had one more match, they said you can only have one more match. It would be against Jungle Girl. If I had to, if I had to fight someone for the title again or defend the title again from someone else, it would be Jungle Girl because
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
You are watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, and today we have an amazing show, and of course, nothing but amazing guests. She's the former WOW Women's Champion. Please welcome the Beast. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Former for now, soon to be returning.
Soon to be returning. And here she is. Christina's in the chat, my co-host. We cover the post show. She's definitely a fan of yours as well. What's up, Christina?
Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. Having some technical difficulties, but we're here.
No, we're good. We're here. So we're going to start off with the first question. So because we see you dominating in the ring all the time, but what does the Beast like to do on the off time? Because you don't really show that online. So we don't know. Do you video gamer? Like what are you like cuddly? Like what you
like to garden?
Yeah.
I'm dominating real life. I mean, I'm one of those head down, just go kind of people, you know? So I work hard. I'm in the gym for just hours and hours. You know, it makes the happy chemicals in my brain, and it makes the angry chemicals in my brain, which I unleash on people. It just, man, it's funny because you mentioned, you know, not me being online so much, but it's just because I'm in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I run obstacle course races. I like to keep myself busy. If I can do something physical that tests myself, pushes my mental boundaries, then that's where I am right at that moment. So it's hard for me to stop and be like, this is a capturable moment on film because I'm trying to capture that win in real life. You know what I mean? So it's very hard for me. I'm trying to make that balance between the online and my real life.
So, I mean, you said, so you do the wrestling, you work out a lot, like you have to get tired. Like what do you cook? Do you go to restaurants? Like
I sleep when I'm dead.
The Beast doesn't get tired, TK. Why would you say that?
My
Why
bad.
would you ask that?
If I get tired, that's mean I have to push harder. That's my brain lying to me right now. Like I'm not tired. I'm not. You think I'm tired? That's what I tell myself all the time. You tired right now? Let me show you what tired really feels like. And I just push harder. Like I will push myself till my body fails. Am I advocating that for other people? No. That's what works for. You know what I mean? That's why I am the Beast. Like it's not a name everyone else can wear, and that's okay. I'm cool with wearing that title.
All right, my bad. My coach would love you because I get tired all the time. So
my coach too. I'll be like, I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down. Kind of going off of that, you said you're in the gym a lot. I see your impressive photos, your amazing ring skills. Have you been an athlete your whole life?
I have. I mean, all growing up, my parents were athletic, so they introduced me to different sports at a young age. So, you know, I was always in something, running track, playing basketball. It didn't matter what was going on. I tried, you know what I'm saying? I tried. I wanted to be on the football team when I was in high school, but that was not a thing that they allowed, you know? But I mean, even as an adult, as I got out of school, you know, finished college or whatever, then I got into martial arts. You know what I'm saying? I got my black belt in Krav Maga. I trained MMA. You know what I'm saying? I want to do it all. I went to the fire academy because I ran out of sports to do. So I want to do something else that would push me. So I want to climb some ladders and run some burning things. Let's go.
Let's light it on fire.
Yeah, let's go. How do we make this harder? Light it on fire. Let's go.
Wow.
TK.
Okay.
If you weren't already my favorite, you're even more my favorite.
I appreciate
that. So when you first came on the scene, you had some really great matches with Jungle Girl, and then she actually later on trained you to be a part of those, trained you later on for a really high intensity match. What's your relationship like with her now? Because I mean, I don't know, you know, because you're training so much, I don't know if you got to see the interview, but she said she's not officially retired. So this is me stirring up the pot. She's not officially retired. You know, she does want another go round at the belt. I mean, and so did Keita Rush, by the way. So, you know, what's your relationship with Jungle Girl right now?
It's funny. When I started WOW, I wanted to dislike Jungle Girl. I mean, I tried with everything in me. because here was someone who had the same work ethic as I did, who works just as hard as I do. But there can only be one. When you have that type of mentality, there can only be one at the top. You know what I mean? So I wanted to just like her. But the more I was around her, the more I went against her, and then she helped me. You know, you can't deny what she is and what she brings to the table. She is a workhorse. Her integrity and her courage and her determination are unmatched. You know what I mean? So let me help you. Let me help you here. Because if I had one more match, they said you can only have one more match. It would be against Jungle Girl. If I had to fight someone for the title again or defend the title again from someone else, it would be Jungle Girl, because I know that match would be something fierce. It would be something people talked about, like, and then they did this and this, and I can't, like, and Kita, I don't know why you guys are over here advocating for black on black crime, but I mean, she wants it. I will give it. I don't back down from a challenge. So I mean, anyone who wants to come, I think that would be a great match too, because she's got that speed on her. But once I get my hands on her, I throw her around. I'll show her where some real speed is when she's flying through the air.
Christina?
There it is. There it is. I think that was kind of going into my next question of if you had like, how about, I know you said Jungle Girl would be like if you had one last match, but say, do you have a dream match? And it can be even cross promotional. Do you have a dream match of someone you'd want to wrestle?
I never, there's no one, like when I watch wrestling now, I watch wrestling as an educational tool. I can appreciate what others are doing, but also as I'm watching how they move and how they what are you doing? Let me see what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, because I want to find, as many ways as I can to get out of your moves. I want to see how you get into your moves. I want to know how to counter and get my own moves in there, and how can I bring you down? So I would wrestle anyone, anything, anywhere. Like I said, I don't back down from a fight, but also I think that anyone that I wrestle is going to be something different. And in that something different, it challenges me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know who you are until you're tested. So if I'm tested in all these ways, I don't put anything past anyone. So I never think like, I always think I'm better than anyone. Let's not lie here. I'm not cocky, I'm confident. But also I want people to challenge me and to test me so I can see what I'm made of. I can see where my weaknesses lie and where the holes are in my strategy. So I welcome any and all challenges. They can all line up, bring lunch. Let's go.
Line up and bring lunch, TK. Did you hear that?
Look, I want
and light it on fire.
No beef with the beast. Here's me staring the pot again, and you know what? I'm gonna definitely clip this out and tag the people that need to be tagged. Look, so
they all know.
So you lost your championship not because you lost, but because you got injured and you took care of Vicky Lynn. And what should have happened is you and Princess Aussie should have had a match, but it ended up being a 4-way. And then after that, you ended up having a match with Tormenta. Now, here's the thing. David, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's the one who's kind of coordinating, making all these matches. And it feels like you're not getting a fair advantage to actually win back your title. So do you think that it's kind of a ploy on David? Because he knows that you are the beast, so that you probably, in good health, you'll get your title and you'll never drop it. So do you think it's David kind of putting in obstacles in your way for you not to have the title just yet? I'm just, again, I was going to say not stirring the pot, but I'm definitely stirring the pot. I mean, I'm just seeing it from a viewer's perspective.
No, and it is frustrating because, like I said, I know I'm the best of the best. And like you said, I didn't lose. No one has taken my title from me. You know what I'm saying? I believe a champion should be a fighting champion. And at that time, I couldn't fight. So I did what I thought was the best thing. And, and I dropped my title. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But if you go back through the history of WoW, when I first came onto the scene, and I wanted that shot, and I knew I was the best of the best, he still made me wait and jump through all these hoops. So I don't know if this is a personal vendetta he has against me or what's going on, because even beforehand, he made me go through all this. So I don't understand, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I know what the beast brings to the table. And so I will have my title back, best believe.
Okay. maybe cornering him in the bathroom or something. Just
Not corning him in the bathroom.
Please don't give me ideas.
I mean,
although I would look fabulous in prison stripes, no one wants to see that.
Like a cropped prison stripe shirt and like a little beret.
See that part.
We're here.
it is, Christina.
I was wondering. So I'm a longtime wrestling fan. I'm newer to the WoW promotion, but ever since I was introduced to the WoW superhero world by TK, I've been obsessed. One thing that makes me super obsessed is like people's personas. Where did the Beast persona come from? Because as soon as I saw you, I was instantly hooked.
The Beast chose me. When I tell you, it wasn't a thing where I was like, let me sit down and figure out what I'm going to be and do. When I was playing sports, when I was going through the fire academy, when I was bodybuilding, and everything I've done, people have always been like, wow, you're such a beast. You're a beast. And it just stuck with me. Like, I never took it as some people get a little weird about the name. Like, how can you call her a beast? Like, it's a bad thing. And no, if you look at what a beast is, and it is someone who dominates, who opposes their will and strength on others, who dominates. And I am all of that. If you put me in a room with a bear, feel sorry for the bear.
I was going to say, Beast might be coming out wearing a bear.
Yeah, like I learned that from a young age. I have a lot of older brothers who honestly, they would pick on me and beat me up. And for a long time, I didn't understand why. And finally, I was like, why are you doing this? And they're like, we want you to be as strong as possible. And through that, not only did I become physically strong, but I became mentally strong, which is so much more important. You know what I'm saying? I became emotionally strong to learn how to control myself and take over. If you can control your mind, it's game over for everyone else. You know what I mean? Because that is what tells you to quit. And if that little voice that says quit isn't there, or even when it's there, if you scream louder that I'm going to keep going, how can anyone compete with you? You can't compete if you can't compare. And no one out there compares to the Beast.
That part.
Dropping gems all day. Okay. All right. Oh. The gem was so heavy. I know, I almost forgot. So you grew up with seven older brothers, and they kind of used you as almost like a test dummy for wrestling moves. In that, before they were using you after the wrestling, while you're watching wrestling, do you remember the moment that you fell in love with wrestling, where you're like, man, this is amazing?
It wasn't even a moment. It was just like if you watch wrestling, there are those wrestlers who come in and they just take over. They know what they're about, and they came to do a job, and they get it done. And there is something about seeing anyone just coming in with so much confidence, doing what they said they were going to do, and then standing over their opponent and gloating about it. You know what I mean? And it's not cocky. When I say I know it looks like that, but it's not. There's a confidence to that I know who I am, and you can't tell me any different. And let me show you. I always say, how dare you step in the ring with me, that you think that you could beat me? Like, okay, I'm going to show you today. And then when I show you, I'm going to stand over you with my hand raised, just so you know it happened. And I think that in wrestling, seeing that over and over again, I was like, I want that for myself. I want that. And there was a time when my brothers were like beating me up. And then my moves were getting over, and I get a little more hurt. And then they didn't want to wrestle with me anymore. And I'm just like, okay, this is what they're talking about, you know?
That's awesome. So I know as you're talking, I'm like, okay, the Beast wrestler is the Beast at the grocery store, is the Beast in regular life. I can see you're the Beast in all areas of your life, and you can definitely hold your own. But say in a different WoW universe, just something happens and you're a tag team. Was there someone that you would want to tag team with? Just not that you need to, but I'm just wondering. She said who? She said tag what? She said team huh? There's no I in team.
And that's just it. Like, wrestling for me is not a team sport. Like, you want me to sit on the sideline and watch someone else do some work? You want me to sit on the sideline and watch someone else get the win? I don't understand.
Beast would never tag in her part. They'll be like this.
Look, my eyes, I'm confused right now. I need to, let me get a water break.
Ooh.
Okay, so how did this all happen? Meaning that like you had former athlete, fire department, all the things. Like how did the beast and WoW collide? Like how did we get here?
I found out because earlier in life I had seen Glow. I knew what Glow was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a different thing than the wrestling I grew up with, in all male, or where women weren't highlighted, where they were the girl wrestlers who had to come out, in their underwear or have pillow fights, and so at that time, Glow was something where like the women were the highlight, the whole thing. And that was interesting to me. Cool. That stuck in my head. And then someone told me that WoW was a thing and that WoW was having tryouts. And when I tell you that I raced down and burst through David McLane's door, and I told him that I was not going to leave and that I was going to be his next champion. And I wish, like, every time, if I read of the story, I see his face, just the shock, and he was dumbfounded. But also, you can't deny, like, if this big, muscular, tattooed, crazy person comes bursting into your office and says they're going to be a champion, trust and believe I'm going to be your champion. So it was good, and I just never left from there. I got in that ring, and once you're in the ring, it's a different energy, man. It knocked me, not even trying to be funny, it knocked me on my butt a few times, like. But I love those challenges. I don't run from them. And wrestling offered me that, and to be around a strong group of women who are strong in their own ways, and they bring so much more to the table than you would ever imagine, to have that sisterhood, even if there's no team sport here happening,
No team.
But I can still give credit where credit is due, and I can still pull inspiration from these women who come from these different backgrounds and have these different body types. And there's this whole just bubble of diversity that you can be like, wow, I'm part of something bigger than myself. And now I want to make sure that I hold my own here. I don't want to be the weak link, and that pushes you even more. So it's a great fit for me.
Okay, I like it. What if you were to like say this in one sentence? What does it mean to you to be a WoW superhero?
It means I get to be an inspiration.
I like it. And before we get out of here, like we were saying, and we talked about it earlier, the championship has eluded you, or maybe David has been, eluding the championship from you. If you were to, write it or sprinkle your magic dust on, the storyline, etc., how would you go about getting your championship back?
You know what? If I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind starting from the bottom again. I wouldn't mind wrestling everyone in that promotion just so I leave no doubt in anyone's mind who the best is, who the biggest, who the baddest is. Because I know it's me. And so I have no problem showing myself. I have no problem proving myself over and over again if I have to. So I wouldn't mind starting from the bottom.
That was the last question, but I have one more. You just kind of little corner. You said the biggest and the baddest, and there's another woman in another promotion who also says she's the fastest, she's the baddest, she's the biggest. Do you? And I think I already know the answer to this, but I don't want to assume nothing. If there was you and Bianca Belair in the ring, how do you think that will play out?
Oh, so precious. It's so precious. I don't care who you put me in the ring with.
And not us asking cute questions.
Yeah, you can put me in the ring with God himself, and I'm still gonna come out on top. Lightning bolt incoming. I don't back down from any challenges, and I don't think anyone can beat me. Honestly, I don't give up. I don't care who you put me in the ring with, man, woman, bear. I don't care. I will come out on top. I don't give up. you can't beat me if you can't hold me down. That's the whole point of wrestling, right? To hold someone down. Good luck. Good luck if you think you can beat me. And I say that to any and everybody listening. And I want them to hear me say it. I don't want to hear B said this or I heard she. No, let me tell you, good luck. If you think you can beat me, you know how to reach me. You know how to find me. It's a digital age. Reach out here. Reach out here and they'll get a hold of me. We'll make it happen.
All right. And that part. The Rock said he wanted no part of the Beast. That was a couple years ago. One has, have you guys crossed paths? And a follow-up question, this will be the last question, I promise. Has any other promotion kind of hit you up? I know you're a WoW superhero, but I mean, who you are and who you represent doesn't get lost in translation. So has, The Rock or any other promotions hit you up?
I keep my business. Okay. You can watch me on WoW. That's where I am.
Respect.
There it is. With that being said, I think it's time for, I don't know if I have to go and like do tire flips or something. I feel like I need to go and do another workout today. You're inspiring me to have to go and, put another workout in. But with that being said, where can everybody find you and follow you?
I am across all social media platforms on wow_the_beast, but also you can go to WOWE.com and there you will find where listings are for the show in your area, and you can find me and all the other superheroes. So if you choose. There
it is. And Miss Christina, where can everybody find you?
Everyone can find me on the Twitter at ch_Arzate. All my wrestling things are there. So we'll definitely be promoting all things WoW, all things wrestling, and all things women's wrestling on there.
There it is. You guys can find me everywhere at TK Trinidad. Make sure you check out everything Women's Wrestling Talk at www.talkpod.com and www.talkpod. With that being said, thank you, Beast, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.